Hey, in this recording, I would like to show you how to grow your dental practice using word of mouth advertising. I think word of mouth is a buzzword that gets passed around a lot. People know the importance of word of mouth, yet there's very few good resources or good specific instructions on how to actually go about growing your business with word of mouth. If you Google it, you'll find a lot about people talking of its importance, yet very little of what's been discovered to actually work. And I'd like to show you some very specific ways that you can leverage word of mouth advertising to grow in a very specific and formula step-by-step driven way. So anyways, let's jump into it. First off, I want to talk about the three main levers of growth for dental practices and really most local businesses. The first, like I said before, is word of mouth. 92% of consumers around the world say they trust word of mouth or recommendations from friends and family above all other forms of advertising, and that's from Nielsen ratings. Now, the problem is that word of mouth is, I like to think of it as sort of like this mythical creature. It's this aspiration that everybody wants, but nobody really knows how to follow through or duplicate. When you see it working in other business, no one really knows how to imitate it. A Google search will show this, like I've mentioned before. 2, online reviews. For every star a dental practice gets, there will be approximately a 5 to 9% increase in revenue. 91% of consumers between the age of 18 to 34 are big believers of online reviews, trusting them as much or close to as much as personal recommendations. And the problem here, and you've probably seen this, most dental practices understand how important reviews are, but the competition online is fierce. Getting a steady flow of reviews, keeping your star rating high is key to winning over new customers, but it's also key to being at the top of search results. When someone's looking for a dental practice in their area, Google doesn't want to serve them up questionable results. They don't want to risk recommending at the top of their search results a business that in their eyes may make the person unhappy with the results, or people are going to stop coming back to Google to search. And star reviews are one of the best ways to signal to Google that your practice deserves to be listed when people search for dental practices in their area. And then the third is your website. Once you have that word of mouth, once you have those star reviews, the battle isn't over. The people go to your website to make their final decision. They want to look at who the dentists are. They want to look at kind of the overall impression that they get. And reviews and recommendations can also be leveraged on the website. Posting the social posts that you get, the testimonials, these are things that can really help you to seal the deal once a visitor has actually landed on your website. And we'll get into that a little bit more here soon. Like I said, word of mouth, it's kind of this hard thing, but at Local Fluence, our mission has been to really systematize and help businesses that deserve to grow, that deserve that word of mouth advertising and deserve that spotlight, to have a systematic way to grow. And hopefully I'll be able to show you that here in this presentation. Okay, so first let's just talk about how does Local Fluence work on a high level. First, there are thousands of Local Fluence members in Utah who are always scanning our website looking for these special deals. And we call them exclusive offers because these are offers that aren't just coupons. Like, they're not just a special, they're not just a way to get people in the door, even though they certainly do that. But locals understand that it's a two-way street. They're getting a really tremendous offer, but in exchange, they're doing something extremely valuable for the business. And that is, once they redeem this offer, they get their free teeth cleaning or their free entree or whatever it might be. In exchange, they are committing to posts about you on social media to their friends and their family, or to do a Google review. And this is such a huge ask from people. It's difficult to get people to do this. And that's part of what makes Local Fluence so special, is that you're getting people to do something, to put themselves out there to recommend or share their experience with their closest friends and family on social media, and to go on record that they enjoyed their experience and what they liked about it. And that's part of really what makes this experience so special on LocalFluence for both the businesses as well as the people, the community. Okay, so word of mouth, we talked a little bit about this, but I'll just touch on this one more time. This is an example of an actual post that we've created for a dentist. 92% of consumers around the world say they trust word of mouth and recommendations from friends and family above all other forms of advertising. And these types of posts are so much more powerful than just reviews by themselves. You just get this much more personal experience when someone's posting about their experience on social media that you don't get with the reviews by themselves. And so what makes what we're doing special is that we're able to combine those two things together. And we talked about this a little bit ago, but yeah, for every star review that a dentistry or really a local business of any type gets, there's a 5 to 9% increase in revenue. One of our customers is Vessel Kitchen, and we were able to help them to go from 4 to nearly 5 stars since the time that they started with LocalFluence. Okay, so if you think about your business model of getting customers as a funnel, there really are kind of 3 steps that we really look at. The first is awareness, getting your brand in front of people, and we choose the most effective ways to do that. We choose the social posts, the recommendations, the reviews, and then that helps you also to get more visibility on Google because Google begins to trust you as people are searching for things. That's the awareness stage, which then leads you to the interest stage. Now, the interest stage takes place on your website, as we talked about a moment ago. One thing that is so key to remember, and it's so easy to forget this, is that the battle's not over here. And when people are looking at a website, most people don't spend very much time on a site. And the problem is most sites are all saying that they're the best. And so when a consumer is actually on the site, it's so important to not just tell them that you're the best, but to show them. And one of the best ways to show people that you're the best is by showing that other people are saying it rather than just yourself. And so we have found that the businesses that succeed the most are the ones who make sure that they take that social proof, that very valuable evidence that you really are the best, and make sure that you put that on your website. It could be on a separate page that's about testimonials, but there's something about that personal picture. It's not just words, it's not just text on a page, it's not just a little floating head, but it's a real, genuine, full photograph in a post and showing that they're actually sharing this to their friends and their family that makes this really powerful. The second way, once people are on your site and they're convinced, okay, this dentist looks good, I like what I'm seeing, you now need what we call a call to action, a reason to actually get them to make that step and pick up the phone or drive over and take you up on an offer. And that's where this is something that we are very excited about, that we've been working on building. And this is especially for services industries where we want to do 2 things with this. We want to be able to convert the people who are on your site, who are thinking about you, into actually coming in and spending money, becoming a long-term customer. But we also want to be able to help convert your existing customers into what we call super fans. And moving, to the purchase stage, but also past it. So this basically creates a flywheel effect. What LocalFluence is all about is taking that social proof, creating social proof for you, turning that into customers. People who see that, they resonate, they trust social proof more than anything else, and then turning those new customers into more social proof, which then kind of continues that flywheel effect. And so when we have this little thing on the website, we're really excited about the fact that this is also going to be able to touch your existing customers, because and I'd like to actually, before I tell you why it works and why this is so powerful, I want to tell you a quick story. In the book, and if you haven't read it, I really recommend it. It's called Influence by Robert Cialdini. And there's a section on a principle called commitment and consistency. Commitment and consistency is this incredible principle which basically refers to this need that all human beings have, almost on a subconscious level, to be very consistent with what we say. If we declare to our friends or our family that we intend to do something, or that we are something, there's this really strong pull to always be consistent with that into the future. And social scientists first kind of discovered this in the 1960s. And so the story I want to tell you is about a neighborhood where these scientists, posing as volunteer workers, went door to door in this residence in California, and they asked the homeowners to place a public service billboard and have it installed on their front lawns. And to get an idea of what that would look like, they created a photograph and showed the photograph of that billboard in front of this really beautiful, otherwise a beautiful and attractive house. And not surprisingly, even though it was for a good cause, the words said "drive safely" on the billboard, 83% of people said no, as you could probably imagine. But there was this really, really other interesting group of residents in the area that was canvassed previous to this. And when they were asked to put this billboard, 76% of them said yes to putting this monstrosity in their front yard. And so the reason for this has to do with something that took place 2 weeks before that day that they were asked to put this billboard. 2 weeks before this, volunteers had gone to their home and got them to make a small commitment to driver safety. A volunteer came and they asked if they would display these little 3-inch square signs that said "Be a safe driver." And it was so trivial that most of them agreed to it. And the results that followed, though, were so incredible that when they were asked 2 weeks later to then put this large, very large billboard in their homes, because they had already committed to driver safety, they had already intentionally put that intention out to the world. They showed their neighbors, they showed their friends, they showed to themselves that they were committed in some way to driver safety, even though it was small. They did not deviate away from that. And so there's one more stage here that I kind of want to tell you about, and that is bringing customers into what I call super fans. And that is people who have gone on record and publicly shared with their friends and their family on social media that they like you, that you are their dentist, that they recommend you. And there's something so powerful about that. It's not just that they're bringing their friends and their family to trust you as well, but it's that they've drawn a line in the sand. You know, they've sort of, the die has been cast, so to speak, in regards to how they feel about you. And what's going to happen is you're going to see these customers who actually go on record saying that they're a big fan of you, especially if you can get them to do it in a social post, which is so much more personal. These people are going to be much longer customers. They're going to stand by you for much longer. There's that need to be consistent to the commitments that we make and the things that we share. And it's something that's easy to overlook, but I think it's so important that we move every single customer or potential customer from each stage down to the next as effectively as possible. Because by doing so, you really kind of go back to that flywheel effect where you really are guiding people towards becoming your customers and then getting them to bring on new customers as well. So anyways, that's it for this presentation. If you are interested in Local Fluence, we'd love to be able to talk to you about being able to kind of get an offer into our platform and being able to especially help convert more people on your website with this new offer widget that we've begun using and have had a lot of good success so far. So anyways, hope that helps as well in your journey towards understanding how to get that flywheel effect going on in your specific business.